Hey, it's Tanya from Lyric Lounge, and I'm backstage at Wychwood Festival with Dodgy. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
We've just watched an absolutely blinding set. Can you tell us a little bit about the new album? But can you tell us in two different ways? Can you tell us for people who know and love Dodgy, and people who maybe haven't heard your music before and are getting into it now?
Oh, I don't know about that. Basically, when we reformed, yeah, I'll put that in there. Sorry, I'm just answering someone's question. When we first formed, we had a sort of manifesto. We moved because I'm from around here. I'm from Worcestershire. And Matthew's from sort of Worcestershire as well. And when we moved down to London, we're on a mission, a bit like the Blues Brothers film. We just wanted to, there was no discernible talent with me. Matthew was a great drummer, but I was just wanting to be a songwriter. I worked at Rover, and I was young, and I just thought, I've got one chance, I've got to do this, And it was kind of like a lot of hard work, and so that comes out in the music. The new album is now, we've been together, well, we had 10 years off, but the new album is about us now. See you later, Andy. Take care.
Hope the interview's going well.
Yes, it's going well. Take care. See you next week. The new album's about us now, 40-year-old band, talking about the issues that we've had in our lives since we last made a record. You know what I mean? So since Good Enough, and since Staying Out for the Summer and those songs, what it's like now. And I'd say we still have the love of melody, harmony, and we try to make music for everybody, really. We don't try and sing like, we mentioned Britpop, whatever that means, we like to have a little bit of anger in there, a little bit of soft, mellow sweetness, emotion and all those sort of things. We just like to fill it with real, true stories, really. So it's written from the heart, this album.
I've also noticed you do a lot of things that support various issues. You're talking about issues. Do you think it's important for people who are in bands to think about that sort of thing and to think about what they can do to improve situations for people?
Personally speaking, I'm a musician. My skill is in what I do because I've spent so long doing it. So it's not like I'm going to go and become an accountant, because I'm not very good at that sort of thing. But I personally have done for about the last 7 years. I've been working with kids with special educational needs and kids who have been kicked out of school, pupil referral units. Kids like that, I've been helping to express themselves through songs. So I do that. So I've got a company that does that in Worcestershire. So and that's been massively important to me, to be able to give something back because of a talent that I've worked at. I wasn't born with it, I've worked at it, and I'm just, I think I'm a living exponent. If you want to do something, just keep doing it and try, yeah, there is delusion in there somewhere, it's like I'm 40, should I be doing this? But fortunately I'm in a band called Dodgy, and we can get away with anything because no one has any expectations. I mean, when we were younger, when we used to go around, people wouldn't come to see us because we were called Dodgy, and they automatically thought that we would be. But actually, it's kind of, in some ways, it's the worst and best and worst name in the world, in a way that people have no expectations and can be like, oh, they're really good musicians, or they write really good songs, and it's like, and it was also the time we grew up. Dodgy was just one of those words, everyone used it all the time in the 90s in London,
And the other thing that I've noticed particularly today is those songs you did write a long time ago, they had real staying power. One of my favourite songs is If You're Thinking of Me, and as soon as you started playing it, all the words came back. It was just fantastic. So certainly I think that people who did used to listen to the stuff before should, come and check you out. How did you decide which of your older songs you were going to include in your set and which new songs you were going to include?
Basically, the decision was made purely from the sense that we're not really about nostalgia. Nostalgia's fine, but you can't have an hour and 20 of nostalgia. You have to show the future in a way and what's next. And I think the idea of Dodgy now is we just keep going, and we're going to keep writing albums and recording albums on the cheap. We did it in my studio in Malvern. We went to Texas and mixed it with a really great producer who did Midlake and John Grant and stuff, who we really liked the records by. And we made it really cheaply, and we can afford to run this as a business. You know, I can afford to do working with kids a couple of days a week, and then at weekends we just constantly gig, you know. And you know, we have weekends off obviously, but you know, we just like to play music, you know, just live the life.
As well as playing music, what sort of stuff do you like listening to? If you were setting up your own independent festival, who would your 3 headliners be?
Okay, well, on the Friday night, I'd probably have, at the moment, just before the headline act, which would be the Fleet Foxes on the Friday, I'd have like someone like Deer Hunter if they got back together again, or Deer Hunter, an American band. I like a lot of American and Canadian bands. I mean, so I'd go kind of, Fleet Foxes, because I love the Fleet Foxes, because they sing harmony and they've got melody, you know, it's simple for me. On the Saturday, I would have a band that are going now. I'd probably have the Flaming Lips headlining. I love the Flaming Lips and I think they're great. I'd probably have in the dance tent DJ Shadow and Cut Chemist. I'd like a drum beat off, you know. I'd love to see Jurassic 5 at a festival. I think they're still going. On the Sunday, I definitely would have Leonard Cohen headlining. Because Leonard Cohen, I saw him at the Big Chill a couple of years ago, and Leonard Cohen was just the most amazing gig I've ever been to. It was just people crying in the audience. It was so amazing. So Leonard Cohen would have to be there, and he would be supported by Elvis Costello.
Did he do closing time?
I think he did. And not of the new album. It was none of the new album. It was all the new album is amazing, by the way. Leonard Cohen's new album he's 70 odd. It's still an amazing album. He still has it, you know. And that gives hope to musicians like myself, who, you know, I like to write songs, and it's my job to write songs and to look at people and look at situations and try and bring them out into melody, where it makes people think, God, I'm not the only one who thinks that, you know. Sometimes, you know, I like those sort of things. We're not necessarily a dance band. We just want people to listen to the music and just share what we, you know. I don't know. I want to sound like a silly man, you know. It's hard. It's hard for me not to sound like a silly fool. But you know, you've got to be honest in your music. Honest.
Brilliant. So, music with melody and music with honesty. That is Dodgy. Check out the new album now.